Hello. I know you're all concerned about a potential recession and the impact it will have on all of us. We have now experienced the much publicized 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, usually associated with the beginning of a recession. But be aware, in reality, a recession is actually determined by a group of highly trained economists that weigh tons of economic data and then come to a conclusion of whether a recession actually happened or not. It always happens it always is determined after the recession is either already started or in some cases finished completely. However, since it's becoming increasingly clear, increasingly likely that a recession is on the horizon, let's discuss how that impacts the stock market. In reality, stock market declines associated with recession historically begin 6 months before the recession actually starts. And in most cases, the majority of the losses associated with that decline happen during that period of time. Interestingly enough, once the recession starts, the stock market generally bottoms out and begins its inevitable recovery about 3 months before the recession's even over. So we're left with this model where a lot of the damage is done before the recession begins, and some of the gains actually we experience happen before the recession is over. I think it's important, though, for you to understand our playbook, our strategy in this environment. Daniel, talk to me about that.
So our recession strategy playbook is we're going to focus more on U.S. large cap stocks. So those will be the stocks that you're actually very familiar with. So we'll be overweight on U.S. large cap, and we're going to be underweight on foreign stocks, both developed and emerging markets. We'll be underweight also on mid-cap U.S. domestic and small-cap U.S. domestic. The thought process here is that this strategy is, in our belief, will be more resilient if we have a continued downturn, or when the market begins to recover, it'll recover much, much more quickly. But for you folks who are working with us on financial planning, please remember that your portfolio, your long-term financial plan, has already been stress tested with this type of a market environment in mind. Remember, we use the Monte Carlo scenarios to put it through circumstances to have the highest probability of success for your long-term financial goals. But for those of you who are working with us independently on a portfolio or on your 401k, understand that those models are purposely built as well. It's just we don't have the long-term financial plan to help guide us through your entire portfolio process. So, as always, if you guys have any questions, any comments or concerns you want to talk to us further about this, please feel free to give us a call and we'll set up a time to have a conversation.